Let's work on question 12 here. The area of a big round disk is twice as much as that of the smaller round disk. Is the radius of the big disk is twice as much as that of the smaller disk, and why? So, how do you solve this question? Here is the solution. Don't get wrong is that since the area is twice as much as the big one is twice as much as the smaller one, then you may say then radius would be twice as much. That's not correct. Okay? And here is the reason. You see the area for the disk, is pi r squared. And for the big one, let me write AB, big one. Then you have a pi r squared, the big radians. For the smaller one, then you have a pi r squared, smaller radians. This one, big one, smaller one, then if you double the area, they should be equal. Double the smaller area, they should be equal. That means pi r big radians squared equals 2 pi r squared smaller radians. You divide it by pi on both sides, so you cancel this one. That means you have a radians of the big disk squared. That's twice as much as the radians squared for the smaller disk. That's twice as much. But for the radians itself, you have to choose the square root. Okay, so then that's radians for the smaller one. Here, if you remember the value for radical 2, that's approximately 1.414. So here the answer is, for the radians, the big one is how many times? 1.4 times as big as the smaller one. Okay, so it's not really doubled. Double the smaller radians, you'll get the big radians. That's not the case. You cannot double it. You have to smaller radians times 1.414, you get that, the big radians. Okay, so here the answer is what? Is the radians of the big disk is twice as much as that of the smaller disk? The answer is what? The answer is no. Okay? So the answer is no. And why? Why here we already have the rationale right here. So the answer is the radians of the big disk is not twice as much as that of the smaller disk. Is actually the radians of the big disk is 1.414 times as much as that of the smaller disk. Okay? All right. I'll see you next time.